Here we have a hip roof on a gazebo pavilion type system going on. I'm going to spend a couple minutes here showing you some of the properties of the hip roof. This was built with trusses, and we'll get inside there and take a look at everything. You can see it's set up on 8 6x6s that were put in the ground, and then they did some block work around them, and then on top of the 6x6s they went with LVLs, which created the header all the way around, a complete perimeter of a header, and then on top of that header they started to set their trusses. So let's go in here and take a look at what's going on inside. I'll show you the connection of the 6x6s to the LVLs, and we'll work our way up from there. 6x6s, I'm sure, are set in concrete and plumbed up and braced. And let's see if I can get away from a little bit of that's better over here. Okay. So we probably have 2 or 3 sandwiched together LVLs, and yeah, they're definitely gonna carry the load of our roof. We're gonna have a live load and a dead load. Okay, so our live load would be wind and snow, rain, things along that line, and our dead load would be the weight of the material. You can see that they did carriage bolts. They ran carriage bolts up and in where the 6x6s go. Did a really nice clean job. Trusses here are all 2 foot on center, and therefore what they had to do is they had to use those little, I don't know if you can see them, the little metal, let's see, between the, yeah, there they are right there. Between the pieces of plywood, you're going to have to put little metal pieces to keep any kind of deflection going on. So good. You can see that on every single truss they've gone ahead and they've put strapping on it, similar to a hurricane strap. In our area we probably don't have quite as high of a code as they do, say, in Florida or down south. Alright, come back here. What we've got here is we've got what we call a girder truss, and essentially that's 2 trusses that are nailed together, sandwiched together, and they're going to act as a header to go from that side all the way across to that side there. And then off that girder truss you're able to hang all these other ones that are going to complete the back side of the hip. So that's a nice clean system. You can see, if I get over here, we can shoot all the joist hangers that they have on every one of those. There's a joist hanger there. There's a plate on the truss. There's a joist hanger there all the way across. Good deal. I wanted you to see this because they did a real nice clean job. The team that put this together squared everything up nice, did a nice clean layout and put it all together really well. So if we can see this is pretty cool. We've got, and maybe I'll come across this over on this way. We talked about the flat top on the trusses, and there's our girder truss, and then the next one up, you can see it ends up going up to a flat top. That is the graduation from the high point of the ridge as it slowly graduates down to the outside wall. And then over here you can actually see how they've created the hip using 2 2x4s, one on each side of the hip. And so the trusses have actually made up that outside corner there all the way up to our ridge. Yeah, good. Now over here you can see right here is our first, right there is our first common truss. In other words, it does not have a flat top. it actually goes all the way to the ridge. And I believe this building only had 5 common trusses, and everything else was set up and designed to create the hip. These pieces of 2x4 you see across here, those are essentially diagonal braces that tie the ridge portion together, just more likely for a wind load and while they're assembling everything. So it all came together pretty nice, clean job. And see if I can get any better video down here. You can see the electricians came in and they put some lighting in here as well as some GFI outlets. There's another look at those clips, the ply clips that they put in between. Try to give it a little bit more stability. You'll have a little less deflection in your roof decking, in your sheathing. So yeah, here's a really good version of the flat part of the truss. So as you get closer to the wall, the trusses get shorter, and as we go up the line toward the ridge, they get higher, all the way on up, all tied in nice. You can see they ran bridging then to tie from our girder truss all the way across to our other girder truss. Was one line of bridging. Tied it all in very nicely, and then these little triangles on the ends, these are all identical essentially for both sides. They should be all identical. And then the only thing that's a little bit weird, a little bit different, would be this diagonal one that goes across, and then these 2 little tiny ones that tie in just to give you the very final rafters all the way out. Those make up actually your first hip jack. And then from there you're going to go on out to your soffit and fascia. Here's our soffit, perforated soffit, which allows air to get up and around. In this case we don't really have to worry about that too much. And then there's our aluminum fascia throughout, going out. The only thing left to do here would be to put gutters on it and do a wrap up of trimming on the outside. This detail here, I would probably go ahead and put some kind of aluminum on that header, on the outside of that header, just to keep the bugs and the rain and the water off of it, keep it nice and clean, and don't worry about any rot or anything like that. So there's our pavilion hip, probably on like a 30 by 50 pavilion, 2 foot on center. Nice clean job, fellas.